Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. I hope you're all well. I'm just going to give it a minute or two just to let a couple of people join and see how we get on, inshallah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. So hopefully, inshallah, this one will be informative and we will get a lot of support for our cause. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us today. Please feel free to include your comments. It would be great to have a discussion amongst us and discuss what's going on in the world just now. I'm sure everybody has seen. Yeah, so we'll get started today, inshallah. Thank you for joining me. Assalamu alaikum, sister. It's nice to have you on. Today's topic is quite a serious one, and I feel like it is the responsibility of all Muslim content creators to raise awareness and put truthful information out there. And that's a big statement, truthful information out there. There's a lot of information going around that we're unsure of, and I think even people that are putting it out can't really claim that it's truthful. And we want to raise awareness. And obviously what I'm talking about is Israel and Palestine and what's going on in the world just now. And we want to help combat the propaganda from the media and those with bad intentions. And inshallah, that my aim for this is to encourage people to donate and to clear up some misconceptions that have been put out there and some propaganda that has been put out there, for sure. Before I start, though, I want to make it clear that I do not condone any anti-Semitism. I do not condone any anti-Semitism or Jewish people losing their lives whatsoever. No innocent person, or no matter who they are, what religion they're from, what side they're on, they should not suffer or be harmed at all. I don't want to promote that is the right thing to do. I understand right now in the media, it's so clear that there is one side that is being looked upon as the victims, so to speak. And that's why it's our job as Muslims to shed light upon those that are not being represented. And that's my purpose for this today, inshallah. So today I'm going to talk about two specific commentators, individuals, and I'll start off today with a man called Ben Shapiro. So there's been a lot of controversy regarding Ben Shapiro and the propaganda that he put out online, which I'm sure, if you've been following everything that's been happening this past week, you will have heard his name come up because it is quite prominent, especially in the Muslim sort of space just now. So he's a well-known Jewish commentator on the Daily Wire. And firstly, I'm going to read out one of the most recent things from today that he's put out. And I'm just going to share a screenshot with you, inshallah, just to show and to give you some context. So as you can see here, I'm not going to read it out because I don't... no, sorry, that's the wrong one. Oh dear, hold on, give me 1 second. 1 second, let me get the right one. Inshallah, I can get the right one on here so that you can have a look. Where's it gone? Okay, so I can't find it. But I did have a screenshot that showed... Well, let me give you some context firstly. Basically, there was a fake news story that was going around that was being circulated by the mainstream media that came from a Jewish source that 40 babies had lost their lives in a brutal fashion, shall we say, and at which it turned out to be completely fake. That this news story was that Palestinians had done this to 40 babies, and before it was discovered that it was fake, Muslims around the world were asking for photographic evidence. Where is the evidence to show that this has happened, that this is something that the Palestinians have done? Now, when Ben Shapiro then provided a fake AI generated picture as evidence. For some reason, I can see it here, but I can't show it. Maybe it's just telling me that it's so graphic that it's not something that should really be shown, which is very true. Let me see. Maybe if I share my screen, that might help. Okay. Let me see. The entire screen I want to share, inshallah. Okay, now let me see if I can get it up because I did have it here. Here we go. So this is it here. So as you can see, it's quite a graphic picture. And if you can, like, I'm not going to read out what he said. So he's saying that, you know, here's proof of dead Jewish babies. I mean, even the picture itself, I can't look at it, even though it's AI generated and it's fake. It still puts that image in your mind. And what's horrible is that this is something that was not true and that this man put out. So he put out that this actually happened and that this, you know, happened to babies from Jewish people. And he's got 6 million followers on his YouTube, and he's got so many other million followers on social media platforms. So either Ben Shapiro is spreading misinformation, which is highly likely, or he's irresponsible enough to fall for fake evidence. I don't think that unless you know where you're a big influencer. So unless you know where your sources are coming from, I don't think you should be sharing stuff like that and putting that out there. Again, it's propaganda. So he has today been obviously called out for that. I don't expect an apology to come out from him at all. And either way, you know, millions of people who follow him have seen this and they believe it, and they believe it to be true. They might not even know that it's fake and still believe that it's true, which is just horrible. Assalamu alaikum to everybody that's joined. Thank you for joining, inshallah. I'm looking forward to having a chat with everyone today. Yeah, please pray for our Palestinian brothers and sisters. Please donate whatever you can to help them. I'll leave a link in the description to a donation policy that I was given by a charity. They're 100% donation policy, so please donate to them if you can, anything that you have. And if you can't donate, then please just send them your duas, because, you know, every dua does matter. And a lot of people are like, you know, what's the point of coming online? What's the point of talking about it? We can't do anything. Why is everyone, you know, I've had those comments said to me on social media about, you know, there's no point. And there is a point. The point is that who else is going to tell these people's story? Who else is going to fight for these people? There's nobody. If we as Muslims don't fight for them, who else is going to? And yes, donate, help them, give them food, give them water, give them whatever they need if you can. Inshallah, it will help them in some way. Sorry, I got off topic. Yeah, so coming back to Ben Shapiro, I'm now going to show you screenshots of how Ben Shapiro initially got involved with this situation on Twitter, and he had a back and forth with Muslim revert Andrew Tate and Andrew's brother Tristan Tate. So I'll just show you those screenshots just now, inshallah. So it says, let me assure you, as someone who has not pimped women and bragged about it, the morality requires that those who rape women and kidnap children must be eradicated, not negotiated with. So this was something that Ben Shapiro said. And Andrew Tate replied, Mr. Tough Guy, let me assure you, as someone who has done his own fighting, as opposed to excitedly encouraging, oh, it's gone, hold on, let me get it back. Encouraging others to do it for him while sitting at home on a comfy chair. Well said. And then Andrew Tate's brother came in and said, a Jewish man speaking of the eradication of a race of people. 2023 is a scary time to be alive. I wonder how many of the women and kids who are soon to be obliterated, kidnapped, or raped anybody. My guess is 0. This is nihilistic and evil. Yeah. In Ben's comment, there was no mention of innocent lives being lost, innocent children losing their lives for 8 decades in Palestine. That's how long this has been going on. I know everybody's, you know, it always comes up at certain times, doesn't it? But it's actually been going on for that long, and it's never stopped. It might stop when we might stop spreading awareness about it, but it's never stopped for them. And now is the worst time that they've ever faced for them. You know, may Allah make it easy for them. Andrew's comment that I just showed you regarding there being need for peace talks is spot on. Yes, no more lives should be lost. Nobody else should lose their lives on either side. There should be peace talks amongst the people that are causing the hate in the first place. None of them are losing their lives. It's innocent people that are losing their lives. The people who have caused this are very comfy sitting in their homes and not having to worry about, losing their life. It's just so sad what's happening. Tristan comment about a Jewish man advocating for the same thing to happen to Muslims in Palestine that happened to Jewish people in World War II, in reference to what Ben is saying, is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's just hypocritical. And this is one thing that I can't get my head around. This happened to you, your people, your ancestors, your grandparents, whatever. This happened in World War II to Jewish people, lost a lot of their lives, and it was so wrong what happened to them. So why are they now doing this to another race, to another country, to other people, and actually pushing for it to happen? Is so mind-blowing to me that this is what's happening. And that they're doing this. I honestly can't understand why, and why people like Ben Shapiro are advocating for this and pushing for it. It's horrible. And you'll see from the clip that I'm going to show you now what Ben Shapiro on his channel had to say regarding this. And it's quite shocking, I will say.
Enough of these sons of bitches that this is not a problem again. Whenever anyone suggests that Israel is willfully killing some, that is the most ignorant.
Volume up.
Bigoted, anti-Semitic ever said.
That's strange.
Israel kills.
Volume's not showing.
Israel kills enough of these sons of bitches that this is not a problem again. Whenever anyone suggests.
This is my first time doing this. He's basically saying, let me just share my screen again. That might do it better like it did last time. We live and learn when we have technology. Here we go.
Israel kills enough of these sons of bitches that this is not a problem again. Whenever anyone suggests.
Yeah, so it's pretty shocking what you see. So yeah, it's pretty shocking. You can see that he's pushing for the clip. It speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? I mean, Ben Shapiro's basically calling for people to have their lives taken from them. Oh, could you not hear the video? So I did play it again. Tell me if you heard anything. Could you hear it? Hold on, I'll put it on again. It's just because I've got a mic in, so I think that's why. Right, can you hear me now? Right, let me put it on again.
Enough of these sons of bitches that this is not a problem again. Whenever anyone suggests that Israel is willfully killing civilians, that is the most ignorant, bigoted, anti-Semitic bullshit ever said. There cannot be a ceasefire. Anyone who calls for a ceasefire is a terrorist sympathizer under these circumstances. Let me point out at this point, there is no apartheid. 20% of Israel's population is Arab. Whether Israel annexes the Gaza Strip, as it damn well should, because the Palestinians have proved themselves incapable of self-governance in the Gaza Strip by allowing Hamas to overrun them.
So I hope you heard that this time. Please let me know. Yeah, the audio's good now. Okay, great. It's because I have a mic plugged in, so I'm just going to take the mic out and that'll allow me to show the videos for you. Yeah, you're right. He is asking for genocide. Basically, that's what he's doing. And like I said, yeah, like you said, during World War II, somebody's just commented, Guided Seeker, yeah, thanks. You're right. Like, it's so hypocritical. Like, this is what happened to you, and you're asking for this to happen to other people. And like I said, he's basically saying that they should all lose their lives. He said that anybody that calls for a ceasefire is a T-word sympathizer. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to say it out on here. But that's not true. A ceasefire means that nobody else loses their lives. It means that everybody is safe. And it's just mind-boggling that someone with this big a platform is pushing for this. We heard the devil. Yes, you know, it seems like it, doesn't it, sister? You just don't know. The world is full of crazy people, and it's sad that this is happening to our brothers and sisters just now. It's just complete lies and propaganda that people who call for an end to this violence are actually saying. They're actually saying that people are saying that. They're creating peace and are concerned about the preservation of human life. You know, Ben Shapiro is telling people that follow him to support innocent people losing their lives, shall we say, and in not a very nice way. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have seen, I'm sure you have seen all the videos that have been circulating. I mean, the videos that I've seen, especially of children. I'm a mom of 2, and seeing those videos is really broke my heart. It's really, really upset me because I share them when I can, and sometimes it's just too much to even watch it, that I can't watch it because it is heartbreaking what's happening. You know, parents actually holding their children, but they have no life left in them. I can't imagine how that must feel. And their iman is so strong. They've got such a strong deen that they're still praying. They're still praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please help us. And even though they're holding their child that's lost their life, they're still praying. I mean, you know, those people, inshallah, will go to Jannah. And yeah, it's a difficult time. Back to Ben Shapiro. So this is not the first time that he's made anti-Muslim comments online that have resulted in people attacking Muslims. There was an incident previously, I'm not sure if people are aware, that had one of his followers actually shot up a mosque. It was ridiculous. And thank God we have individuals like Mohammed Hijab and Andrew Tate who also have big followings that are opposing Ben's madness and, you know, shining light onto what he's saying and saying, no, it's wrong, and there's propaganda here. Brother Mohammed actually even made a video calling Ben Shapiro out, and I'll play a clip of that video just now.
Hamas, we're talking about children here. We're talking about women here. We're talking about elderly people. You make me sick. You make me sick.
Well, what's your response to that, Ben? I mean, that will be, I'm sure, a reaction you've heard from a lot of people. What do you feel about that?
My obvious response is, of course, I feel horrible for the people who are being held by Hamas in a state of tyranny for the past 15 years. Hamas was the elected government in Gaza in 2006. There hasn't been an election since then. All the people who are today ranting, as you heard Mohammed Hijab doing right there, I don't hear them talking about liberating Gaza from Hamas, which is the greatest threat to the way of life of Gazans on planet Earth. Again, I have nothing but sympathy for Hamas, for the people that Hamas is governing, or the people that Hamas is exploiting, really. I have nothing but sympathy for civilians there. Israel has to defend itself. I don't understand exactly what the expectation would be here. Is the expectation that because Hamas uses human shields, that Israel therefore has to go home and wait to have its people murdered again?
My question to Ben Shapiro, do you condemn the attacks? He couldn't, and he didn't, and he wouldn't answer that question. Why? Because everything must be scapegoated to Hamas. Even before Hamas was an entity, the terrorism narrative was still in force by the Israelis against the secular PLO. This cannot and it will not fly anymore. They've made it out as this is the only option. It's not logically the case that the only option to fight Hamas is to disproportionately affect civilians, women and children. What other options are there? Face-to-face confrontation with Hamas. You can attack them directly and you can have a fight with them. 95% of the injured are civilians.
Yeah, he's right. What I get annoyed at is when people like Ben Shapiro keep calling out Hamas and saying that they are the reason why innocent civilians in Palestine are dying. No, your reason is because you're not actually going and fighting Hamas face to face, like Mohammed Hijab said. You're not going and fighting them. You're using this as an excuse to just create genocide, to create genocide and kill all. I'm not going to use that word because it's a horrible word to use, but that's what's happening. You know, all the Palestinians are losing their lives because Israel is wanting to go to, because they're mad at Hamas. It just doesn't make sense. Why should they lose their lives if you've got an issue with Hamas? And you're then saying that it's Hamas's fault that these people are dying because they're using as human shields. No, you're the one that's throwing, you know, nuclear bombs onto them. You're the one that's doing that and airstrikes because you don't want to get to them specifically. It's just, see, when these people actually talk, I'm like, do you hear what's coming out of your mouth? Do you actually understand what you're saying? And when he gets called out, he actually started like getting all like embarrassed because he didn't know what to say, because people like Mohammed Hijab are right. They need to stand up to these people, because if you don't, they just run their mouth and they get away with saying whatever. From that video, you can see that Ben Shapiro is still trying to justify what's happening right now to ordinary Palestinian civilians. He's actually saying that, you know, they've got no links with Hamas whatsoever, but it's still okay to do that at the hands of the IDF. Shapiro did not condemn innocent children or innocent civilians being hurt again. It's so clear to see that Israel is not defending itself, because if they were defending themselves, they would be fighting Hamas, like I said, on the ground, like Brother Mohammed also said, rather than exterminating Palestinian civilians with airstrikes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say to this man, or about this man. And I think enough has been said, and I hope that the people that follow him really, really question what he's putting out there. They probably won't. They probably won't. And it's our job as Muslims to make sure that people like this are called out, and that the propaganda that they're pushing is called out, so people don't follow this and think it's correct, because it's not. It's wrong. And the things that they're saying about Palestinians is wrong. And I don't condone what this man is doing or saying. Let's move on to another man that is quite well known, and he's caused a lot of controversy, shall we say, this week, Jordan Peterson. So I'm going to talk about him. He also works for the Daily Wire, same as Ben. He's spoken to Muslim brothers like Mohammed Hijab in the past, and the conversations always seem really positive, respectful, so much so that Muslims, you know, through that, there was mutual respect for each other's religions, shared outlooks in terms of liberalism, how destructive it can be right now. However, recently, Jordan Peterson and his daughter have been spreading anti-Muslim rhetoric online, and much, much more. They've been doing it more and more recently, and I can't understand why. Again, confused. Why? You know, when this all started at the beginning of the week, Jordan Peterson tweeted to Israeli Prime Minister his support for the genocide currently being committed in Palestine. And I'm sure everybody has seen this. If you've not seen this, I'll show you in a second. But it went everywhere, and the Tate brothers responded to Jordan Peterson. So let's take a look at what Jordan Peterson said online to start this storm, which resulted in backlash from the Muslims, as well as Brother Andrew's response to that. So as you can see, Jordan Peterson said, "Give him hell," and that is the Israeli Prime Minister. Enough is enough, talking about Palestinians.
You become pretty anti-war, and I find it extremely asinine and quite childish, hypocritical, and also disingenuous that people like Peterson will call for the genocide and call for war, when truthfully, he would hate to be anywhere near a war. For him to sit and try and advocate destruction when he himself can't handle Twitter haters and needs absolute peace of mind, let alone peace of physicality, to sleep at night without drugs, I find that quite disingenuous. I also find it very short-sighted. So when we look at the right-wing American freethinkers, when he says, "Give them hell," Netanyahu, "Give them hell," you are trying to advocate the genocide of millions of people.
Pawns who do not move pieces on the chessboard.
They have no power.
Innocent people who are just trying to go about and live their lives because somebody else has made a move on the board.
Is that fair to the person who gets bombed and loses their family? No. Same on the other side. The average Israeli, the average person who's living in a border town who gets shot Pawns on the chessboard. I'm smart enough to look at this situation and understand what's really happening, which is that I don't know, and none of the people with strong opinions truly know.
He's right. We don't know what's actually happening. All we see is the stuff that's coming out, but it doesn't matter what's happening. It doesn't matter what, you know, the ins and outs. What matters is that innocent people are losing their lives. Innocent people are dying from this. And no innocent person on either side should be harmed. And people like Jordan Peterson, who again has a massive following, should not be taking sides, especially when it results in innocent lives being lost. You know, once again, there's a massive backlash from the Muslims towards Jordan Peterson, and so there should be. And to be honest, I feel like the situation with his mental health and resulting from his addiction has hindered his judgment in general. And I personally have lost all respect for him after seeing what he put out. I used to actually have respect for him and think he was, you know, good at his speaking. But yeah, I've definitely lost all respect for him now. Again, I've left a link in the description. Please donate for Palestine, whatever you can. The link that I've given you is from a charity that got into contact with me. They're 100% donation policy. They have people on the ground in Gaza helping. So please donate what you can. If you can't donate anything, then, you know, just send them your duas. And it's important. And a lot of people say that, but do you actually do that? Do you actually sit and say, you know, please Allah, protect those people in Palestine. Please Allah, provide ease to their pain. All those that have lost their lives, grant them the highest place in Jannah. I mean, you know, it's really important that we sit and do that. But and even with your children, you know, encourage your children. I mean, I'm sure I'm not showing my children any of this. Of course, they're very young, but it encourages even a little bit, if they're a little bit older, that there is more to this world than just them and their little bubble, that there are people that are suffering, and encourage them to pray for others rather than just praying for yourself. That's so important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taught us that. It's such an important thing to do. Thank you for joining me today. Has anybody got any comments that they would like to, anything about, you know, what was discussed today? I don't really usually do this a lot, but inshallah I'll try and do it a lot more, just to come on myself and have a discussion about important topics. This is something that's really close to my heart. I'm sure it's close to everybody's heart. So it was important for me to come on and have a discussion about this, because like I said, whether you're a content creator or you're just you know, you're not a content creator and you're just on Instagram or on social media or on YouTube, it's still important for you to share about this. It's still important for you to share donation links, for you to share the awareness of what's happening, because on both sides, okay? And yes, but because Israel has got so much support in mainstream media, even online, you know, people, as soon as, like, there's big influencers, and I'm not going to name names, I've seen quite a lot of influencers saying, for my Jewish friends, and I'm like, but there's two sides. What about Jewish and Muslim friends? Just add the word in and Muslim, because it doesn't mean that you're ignoring the Jewish people. We're not ignoring the Jewish people. I'm not saying that they deserve to lose their lives. No, they don't. What happened to them is wrong, and I completely don't condone the loss of lives of any innocent human being. But I just think it's important for us to raise awareness to the other side too. Nobody's speaking out for them. As Muslims, we have to do that. We have to speak out for them. They can't do that for themselves in there. And it's important to do that, to raise awareness, because if we don't raise awareness, then they'll get lost. They'll get lost and everybody will think that this was okay, and it's not okay. It's not okay for that to happen. So please, I encourage people. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, share the truth and reality with those who are unaware. Help see what is truly happening. Yes, 100%. For those who want to rally, want to know about Islam, yes, this is Islam. You know, an ummah coming together like this is what's important, to come together as an ummah and ensure that we are supporting our brothers and sisters over there, praying for our brothers and sisters over there. And it's definitely an important time. I did see a post, someone who just said about UAE countries. Yeah, I did see a post that somebody put up, and I'm not sure if this is correct, so please correct me if I'm wrong, that the UAE did donate £20 million to help the cause. Hopefully, inshallah, that's true, because Muslim countries should be doing more to help their brothers and sisters for sure. So you can donate with the link in the description down below. So there's a link in the description, and if you go onto my Instagram, there'll be a link in the bio as well. I try and donate it. I try and promote it every day. It's 100% donation policy. It was a charity that reached out to me to get in touch to help promote for them. They've got people on the ground in Gaza right now helping out. So all the money that you provide will go to them. So please go to the link in description, even if you've got £1, even just £1 in donation. It's Sadaqah Jariyah. You know, you're helping other people. Allah always says, what you give, you get back tenfold. So I encourage you to share what you can with them, and hopefully, inshallah, you know, it reaches them. I know that they're struggling right now for food and water, electricity and things like that. So it's so important to give what we can. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did send the rain to our Palestinian ummah. Allah Akbar. I hope our Lord yes, sends Gabriel and Mikhail to deal with IDF. Well, I don't know. I don't encourage the loss of life for anyone. I encourage justice. I encourage justice to be served for sure. I don't encourage the loss of life. I don't advocate that at all. I advocate peace. We as Muslims advocate peace. That is what our ummah is all about, is peace. It's not about, you know, making this person pay and that person pay. No, justice can be done in many ways. Doesn't mean the loss of life always. Thank you so much for joining me today. Like I said, inshallah, I'll do this a lot more. And please donate what you can. Help our brothers and sisters, raise awareness, and keep them in your du'as, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all, and have a beautiful day. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.